Hey guys, Kellen again. So now we're moving on from hardware and we're gonna start talking about software. All right, so Samsung's TouchWiz UI. This is the latest version. I'm not actually sure if there's a version number attached to it yet, but anyways, this is the newest version that comes with the Galaxy S3. So Samsung's done a lot of stuff to this to add in features to make it more robust, to help differentiate this from other Android smartphones, smartphone skins. Some of it we like, some of it we definitely don't like. It's inspired by nature, so there's a lot of water and water droplet noises and ripple effects, as you can see here, which not our cup of tea, but it might be yours. So they've done things like that, but they've also added in, like, again, a bunch of features to make it sort of stand out. So we're just going to talk about some of those. We're going to walk through this new TouchWiz UI, give you guys an overview, help you decide what you can, well, if you like it or not, and then maybe introduce you some features you may not have seen before or may not have known the phone was capable of. So let's jump into it. So first up is the lock screen. Okay, lock screen. Samsung decided to do sort of what HTC did, and they added shortcuts. Okay, you can remove those if you want, you can add them, you can customize them, as you can see I've done. And if you want to access one, it's a simple grab and swipe up, and it'll actually unlock into that app. So you can just grab a camera, I'll show you real quick, and swipe up and it loads the camera. All right, so let me go back to real quick, but that's what shortcuts are like. Like I said, you can remove those. You can actually customize some of that stuff. Otherwise, another thing you can do, since Ice Cream Sandwich, you can access your notifications from the lock screen. Now you have to have a swipe to unlock or something like that. If you had face unlock or a pattern, I don't believe they let you do that because they assume you want more security. But if you have it just a swipe to unlock, you can get in there and you actually toggle some of these settings up there, which is kind of cool. Otherwise, just to jump into your phone, it's a simple swipe and that unlocks it. It's not all that intuitive if you don't know that, because it's just water rippling. Now there's actually a setting you can do to make that a lock. So if you put your finger on it, it turns into a lock, you can swipe it and it will unlock, and it makes a little bit more sense. Anyways, that's the lock screen. Once you get out of the lock screen, then you come to, basically your home screen. So I'm gonna zoom out so you can see all I've got here. I've got 5 on here. Your phone will come stock with 7. I just don't need that many home screens, so I'm able to delete them just by dragging, or you can add more, whatever you want. You also have this little blue home icon, which that shows you is my default home screen. If I wanna change that, I just tap the home screen on a different page, and that then becomes my default, okay? Once we get in here, you can see swiping between, it's buttery smooth. We've got widgets for Flipboard and Google search, yellow pages. So this is the AT&T version, so there's definitely bloatware all over the place, right? But these are all customizable. You can see there's a whole bunch of Samsung special widgets. These are all customizable. You can add more, remove more. You guys know how to deal with widgets, right? All right, so let's talk about another thing. Let's talk about folders real quick. Okay, so in Ice Cream Sandwich, Google introduced folders and, well, quickly made folders, I guess I should say. So what you could do was, let's just grab an app. We'll throw it on our home screen. And let's grab one more app. Okay, so you had a couple apps sitting next to each other. You could grab one, drag it on top of the other, and create a folder. However, Samsung decided they wanted to remove that feature and won't let you actually do that. So in order to add a folder, you actually have to hit menu, and then create folder, and it just puts one up there. Then you can grab your apps, drag them in there one by one, and now we have a folder with a couple apps in it. And for whatever reason, Samsung's folders open down rather than up. I'm not sure why they do that, but they do. You can go in here and type and change the name of it. All is good, right? So you can do that. If you want to delete it, you can just drag it to the trash, which is down here in the bottom corner. If you want to remove apps from it, you can just grab them and drag them somewhere else. Okay, so it works once you sort of figure it out, but it's just not as quick and seamless as Google's is. So it's just one of those little frustrating things we've noticed, but I think we'll probably get over it. In your your navigation or your home dock, I guess I should say, get my term straight. You can have 1, 2, 3, 4 icons and a launcher. So if I try to add, something else down here, it will try to replace those. Okay. So you get that down there, and your launcher button cannot be removed or moved, so it's just stuck over there in the right corner, whether you like it or not. After that, we'll go into the home tray, or the app tray. We just hit home, and you can see it. I have mine set to alphabetically, and it's infinite scrolling, so you can just keep swiping through your apps over and over, so you don't have to go all the way back, all the way forward to, if you get to the end. So this is obviously my last page. I just swipe again, and there's A. Or I can go right back to my last page. I actually have hidden all kinds of stuff. And if you're in this app drawer and you hit menu, you can see there's all kinds of options in here. You can filter by downloaded apps, you can uninstall stuff, edit different pages, share apps, and you can change the way it views and show hidden applications or hide them. So if I go to hide applications, I get all these boxes. I can just start checking things that I don't want to show up anymore. When I hit done, they'll just be hidden from view. So I'm glad they've done that, especially with all of the bloatware. And just to show you how much bloatware is on this, I'll just go show hidden, and oh, it looks like that's all I've hidden. I guess I must have kept some. But so there's definitely some bloatware on here. It's just part of the game these days, right? So that's your app drawer. If you want to get to widgets though, unlike stock ice cream sandwich where you just keep scrolling at the end to get to your widgets tab, you actually have to tap the widgets tab. And from there, you get into your widgets. And then you can, you can long press these and look for a home screen and place that, essentially wherever you would like. So there we go. And I'm going to delete that because it's an ugly AT&T widget. And look at that, that looks like a little bug, I don't know. That was interesting. I am not actually sure what just happened there. And to tell you the truth, the phone's locked up now. So there's a little bug in TouchWiz. I will say that there are some little bugs, and we're gonna get a force close at any minute now. Maybe? No, we're just completely, well, no, we're not completely locked up. Let's go ahead and unlock and see what happens here. Wow, that is a crazy bug. Okay, so we're back from that lockup. Just so you know, I had to battery pull to get my launcher to come back. It wouldn't force close. There was no way for me to get out of that. It was actually frozen. I had to battery pull. Then that widget was still there and then I was able to delete it. Anyways, so this is your app drawer. You obviously know how this works. You got widgets, you have apps. You guys have seen it 100 times. One thing I will point out and give Samsung props for is this transition. So when you actually tap apps or home, it's just such a beautiful, smooth transition. So they've done a really nice job there. The other thing I want to talk about before we get into some app specific stuff though, is this bottom section. And that would be the menu, home, and back button, okay? So for whatever reason, Samsung went against Google and kept the menu button, used a physical home button, and then a back button. And not only that, but they switched the back button, which is normally on the left side, over to the right side, and put a menu button, and it's beyond confusing. So menu button, as you know, Google got rid of with Ice Cream Sandwich. They want developers to stop using a menu button, use an action overflow. Unfortunately for all of us, those developers haven't done that yet. So the menu button actually does come in handy, I will say. With this phone, the menu button actually comes in handy. Unlike the HTC One X where you get that black bar across the bottom. So thumbs up there. But the back button over here, it's kind of weird. Actually, you can long press the menu button and it actually brings up a search. So if you ever need to search for something, you can actually do that quickly from anywhere just by long pressing on that. The physical home button though, let's get a look at that. You can see it doesn't stick up all that much, but physical home buttons are a pain in the, I won't say it, but they're a pain, all right? When you go into something, so these they're almost like capacitive buttons. You can just sort of touch your finger over them and they work. With physical home button, you actually have to physically press in a button. It's just a pain. I'm never going to be a fan of it. I wasn't a fan of it with the Galaxy S2, not with this phone either. One thing you can do is long press that, and that's how you get to your task switcher where you can swipe away, tasks that you have going on. And Samsung actually let you do remove all, or you can go into a full task manager, which you can look at your 2 gig of RAM, well, almost 2 gig of RAM. Actually, I mean, it is 2 gig of RAM, that's just what's available. And you can also go in and stop tasks, look at your storage. So it does let you get into this whole section just by long pressing. Also, if you have S-Voice set to this, you can double tap this and it pops up S-Voice. I already turned it off because S-Voice to me has no use, but we'll get into that later. We'll talk about S-Voice. But anyway, just a little rant on this whole section down here. It is definitely, especially if you're coming from a Galaxy Nexus, this is gonna take some getting used to, this physical home button thing. I'm not sure everyone's gonna be the biggest fan of it. We'll obviously all get used to it, but I just wanted to talk about that briefly. All right, so now let's look at the camera. Okay, the camera is awesome on this phone. We'll say it is one of the great things that Samsung has done with this phone. So if I just want to take a picture of something, it focuses. It's basically an instant shutter. Assuming your light's good and it doesn't have to flash and adjust anything, it is instant shutter. Okay, so it's fast. There's all kinds of stuff you can do like burst mode, HDR photo. So burst mode basically is hold down the button and you can take up to 20 photos and it'll take 20 photos that fast. And then, well, I don't have this best shot thing on, but if we go in and look, we should see 20 photos of my hand moving back and forth. And there you go. So there's my hand moving back and forth. So kind of cool. If you want to have it select the best shot for you, you just toggle this little thing on and you do that again. And it does 8 photos rather than 20, but it'll tell you which one it thinks is the best. Let's see how it does. So it's telling me this one's the best. You can see there's a little thumbs up. If I don't think that one's the best, I think I can tap the next one. Yeah, long press. Actually, and that just keeps them. So that's kind of cool. That's how you can do best shot. You can cancel, click done. Actually, if you hit done, it should erase all the other ones and just keep the one you saved. So they've thrown that in there. Other than that, there's, like I said, there's HDR. There's a smile shot that I think looks for smiles. Otherwise, it either doesn't work or tells you or takes multiples. I haven't played with that yet. There's panoramas. The share shot, we actually have a whole video on coming up later, but that basically allows you to share photos with other Galaxy S3 owners over Wi-Fi Direct. It's awesome. And then buddy share photo. This is kind of cool. So Samsung's built in face recognition stuff a lot more than they ever have in the past. And basically, if you have photos of your friends and you've tagged their face, and it'll learn that. So I've done it with this ticket for a Timbers game. So if I take a picture of this dude and I've selected buddy share, it should recognize his face, and sure enough, I've tagged him as fake. He's my fake contact, and it recognized him for me. So then once you take a picture of a person and it recognizes them, you can go in and hit email, or you can actually call them right from here. Or actually, that must be text message, their picture. So then you can send the picture to them right away. So it's kind of a cool little thing in there. Other than that, you know, it's sort of standard camera stuff, but they are letting you customize some of the stuff on here. So you can see edit shortcuts. And it brings up this menu so you can change the stuff on the side over here to give you a more custom look. You know, if you change exposure all the time, you want a timer or you need effects and you want to toggle those quickly without having to go into settings, you can do that over there. There's obviously more settings. You can do self-portraits. So that's one of the weird things is, actually, I believe you could just toggle that button and switch it. So anyway, ignore what I was about to say there. There's some flash stuff. Here's all these. You can actually go from 8 megapixel down to 6 and 3.2 and all that stuff. Here's your autofocus. Here's your flash control. So you can change all of that stuff. To toggle to video, obviously it's just a swipe down to get to video. You guys have seen that before. And I believe, I may have to turn this on, but I believe you can record and also tap and take photos while it's recording, although I don't believe it's doing that. You could actually have it autofocus or hold focus, things like that. Oh no, here's the button to take picture. There we go. So I can take picture while I'm shooting video, just like HTC's done with the 1 series. So that's the camera. It's actually a really nice camera. I mean, some of the pictures you'll see in the review I've taken, I really like. I've enjoyed. It's fast. It does well under, decent light. Obviously, the better the light, the better the pictures are going to be. So anyways, that's the camera on it. Definitely one of the best in any smartphone today. Okay, so let's jump into just some settings. So if we go into just basic settings, you'll see it's sort of the ice cream sandwich layout, but Samsung's obviously added a whole bunch of extra stuff to it. If you go into wireless and network, you'll see your NFC stuff, your Android Beam and S-Beam, which we'll get into, Wi-Fi Direct, which we'll get into as well. If you scroll down, your sound and your display, and Samsung lets you change fonts and stuff. You can see all of this stuff. Wallpapers, an LED indicator that actually let you sort of control that from here. It doesn't look like you can change the colors or anything like that, but you can toggle what you want to show up there. There's a lot of motion stuff built into the Galaxy S3, which is kind of cool. Like the first one's direct call, and basically if you have that toggled on and you're looking at someone's contact page, all you have to do is put your hand up to, not your hand, put it up to your face, and it will actually call that person. You don't have to hit talk or anything. It takes a second, but it will call them directly. Tap to top, this is actually kind of cool. If you have this toggled on and you're looking at like a contact list or I don't know if it does it on a web page yet, but you can basically just double tap the top of your phone like this and it'll scroll all the way to the top. So it's kind of cool. There's tilt to zoom and pan to moves and stuff like that. If you're in pictures and you have your fingers pressed on your phone, you tilt it and move it, it'll zoom in and out, pan around and things like that. I think that's been in previous TouchWiz versions. One of the things on here is this palm swipe to capture. So if you want to take a screenshot, an ice cream sandwich used to have to do power and volume down. With this phone, you just have to swipe your hand across it and you can see it takes a screenshot and it said copy to clipboard. So that's how you take screenshots. sort of okay with that, but at the same time I'm not, because I can't get it to take one. Even if you turn that off, I can't get it to take a screenshot by holding lock and volume down. And sometimes you need to do that. Sometimes you can't just swipe your hand across it. Your finger might be on there or something. So anyway, that's on there. So they've done some cool motion things to make this phone stand out a bit. Other than that, there's a power saving mode. You can check out your storage. You can check out your battery use, your application managers. You guys have seen most of this stuff. Security, if you actually go into security, this is where you get to your lock screen options. So we'll go to screen locks. You can see there's swipe, which I have on there now, which is the rippling effect. There's face unlock. There's a face and voice unlock. I haven't actually played with that yet. But if we go into lock screen options, this is where you can toggle off those shortcuts on the bottom if you don't like those. There's actually an information ticker, so you can have like stock news tips and stuff. There's a quick access to your camera, but if you already have your camera shortcut on there, this thing isn't really that fast. Basically, actually I'll show it to you. If we turn this on and I go lock, so you can press in the middle here and rotate your phone down and it boots up your camera. So it's kind of quick, but since I already have a camera shortcut on there, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me. So let me go back in there real quick. So that was in security. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. You can set up your owner information, all that good stuff. You guys have seen, accounts and sync, language, docs, date and time, about device, developer stuff. You've seen all that stuff. So nothing new there. That's basically an overview of the settings of the phone. All right, so I thought I'd give you a look at the video player. So if you have a video on here, you can do this thing called, it's like a floating video basically. And it's not necessarily a brand new technology. There's actually an app in the market you can do this with, but Samsung's built it in natively. So basically how it works is you have a video and you're playing that video. So you can see it's playing in the background. And you can go full screen with it. But if you want to, say you want to move it out because you got to do something else on your phone, you can actually tap on here. There's this little button right here, it's like a pop out button, and you press that, it actually puts your video on, and you can just drag it around wherever you want. You can see it's still playing down there. You can drag it around to wherever you want. And to get back into it, you just tap it and it opens the video player back up, and you can pause it, move it around, do whatever you want. So that's a video player, which is always kind of fun to know. Okay, so let's load up S-Voice here. So I'm just gonna have to hit that button to stop it, because when you first pop it up, it automatically starts wondering what's going on, right?
Catch that. Please try again.
Yeah. Okay. And then it's gonna do this little blue line where it says, say hi, to wake me up. If I actually say it, it'll wake up. So you can change that to say hi Jim, hi pizza, hi sock drawer, and it'll wake that up. So you can actually customize that. But we'll get into that in a second. First of all, I want to show you is if you hit this question mark down here, this brings up the list of all of the stuff you can do. So you'll see up here voice dials, text messaging, search contacts, set up calendar appointments, play music, update your social networks, open apps, record voice, set alarms, weather, all that good stuff. Search local listings, which we'll do. So let's do a couple of these and just show you, if it works. And we'll see if they're hit or miss, if they work well. So let's start with the first one. Let's just start with weather, because that's always the one that everyone loves to do. So, hi Galaxy. Hi Galaxy. What's the weather like? A little slow. So it's been a little slow for the last couple hours. I'm not sure if that's because they're updating servers before the big unveiling of the device, or actually I think it launches tomorrow or Thursday. So
here is the weather for Portland,
and there you go.
Oregon.
Nice job. So it was a little slow. Hopefully they speed that up. Oh, Wi-Fi, so it shouldn't take that long. So the next one, let's find a local brewery, okay? Hi Galaxy. What's the nearest brewery? Brewery? It's such a weird word, hard word to say. Let's see if it finds anything. Thinking. When it's doing that turquoise roll, that means it's thinking. And it's been taking a while today. Here we go. What's the nearest brewery? No. No. Do not search the web. You can see it didn't find it, so it asked if I like to search the web, and it gets hung up. It's not good when you're talking while it's trying to talk. Okay, yeah, so then I want some search. So it couldn't find brewery. Okay, let's skip the brewery idea. Let's try something easier. Hi Galaxy. Find the nearest grocery store. on, Galaxy. We're thinking. Again, hopefully, oh, there we go. Find the nearest grocery store. And what do you know? So it pulls up this whole list. It's got quick dial so you can call them. Actually, if you tap on them, it brings up reviews for the place, phone, map, navigation. You search the web about them. So it's kind of a cool thing. Let's do an alarm. Okay, let's set an alarm for tonight at 9 p.m. Hi, Galaxy. Hi, Galaxy. Set alarm for 9 p.m. When I say 4 in there, it screws it all up. Let's see if it does it. It did earlier. You should just say set alarm 9 p.m. or something like that, rather than the 4 because it thinks numbers. Anyway. Oh no, it did pretty well. Look at that. Here's your alarm. And there I go talking again. If I would have just said, it would have asked me, do you want me to set this? And I would have said yes, and it would have saved it. Save. Come on, Galaxy. Ooh. Okay, I'll save this alarm. So there, that alarm should be set. And to prove to you that it actually did, here is clock. Look at, I got all these because I've been messing around. So yes, it did save that as 9 p.m. All right, let's go back in there. And what else can we ask you? Again, if you forget, you can just hit the question mark and it brings up all this stuff. Let's say open app, Google Music. Let's try that. Hi, Galaxy. Open Google Music. Searching my apps. Actually, it's going back to the server now, taking forever, and then coming back to us. Oh, it opened the music player, but not the Google Music player. Let's see what other app. Let's just try to open like Foursquare or something. Open Foursquare. Hey, look, it actually worked. Okay, let's go ahead. Oops. This voice. Go back. Hi, Galaxy. Turn Wi-Fi off. Let's see if it does it. I know we're getting really long here, people, but I want to show you if this thing actually works. You can see it works sometimes, sometimes it doesn't. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Oh, look at that, turn Wi-Fi off, and sure enough, it did toggle it off. So this has been S-Voice. As you can see, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You can actually add calendar reminders. For me personally, this is just too inefficient and too buggy and just doesn't work all that well. I like a lot of the other stuff Samsung's done, but the S-Voice is probably not something you're going to see me use all that often. So anyway, let's do one last thing. I think I said this is the last. Let's do one last thing. Let's look at the keyboard. Okay, so I don't know if you noticed, some of you probably did, but I'm actually using SwiftKey now. For the first few days with this device, I was trying to give the Samsung keyboard a shot, and man, was it rough. So let me go to the Samsung keyboard. Let's let it pop up. Pop up. Okay, so it's got predictive text. It does swiping. Yeah, it's not good, people. You're gonna want to use SwiftKey or actual swipe or one of your other favorite, third-party keyboards. So you can say like, this is awesome. You can also type that. You can type out, this is all wrong. This is awesome. Yay. Okay. So I don't know if you can tell, but as I'm typing awesome, I'll show you that again. As I'm typing awesome, it at first started out saying awesome, but if I keep typing, probably because I've typed it enough times, it's changing. So let's try like battleship. Okay. So I'm typing battleship and oh, that one wasn't too bad. Oh, there you go. You can see it changing also. So it overly predicts stuff that you want to type, and it's awful at it. And it screws up, and it's, like SwiftKey, you can pound numbers and hit spaces, and it like always figures out what you're typing. This keyboard by no means can do that. Even the stock ice cream sandwich Google keyboard is by far better than this. Sure, the swiping and all that stuff is kind of fun, and it works okay. But for me, I'm not a swiper, so SwiftKey and the quick typing is sort of what I like to do. Also, you can't really tell like where some of your like quick settings are. Like I long press on period, and if I hit question mark there, this like quick menu doesn't even go away. I actually have to tap out of it to get out of there. So if I long press on this and I want a smiley face, this menu hasn't gone away yet, but I'm ready to start typing. I don't want smiley face. So you actually have to hit back or type out of there and then it goes away. I don't know why Samsung did that, but yeah, the keyboard, definitely not my favorite feature in the new TouchWiz. So anyway, this has been, a basic overview of TouchWiz. There's definitely some things I like in there. There's some things I don't like. The nature stuff I could do without. Just give me the functionality. I really love all the sharing and NFC and like the robust features. I just don't like the fluff. So third-party launcher, it will be for me, especially with this weird folder situation going on here. But anyway, the camera's awesome. The phone itself has been awesome to play with. And yeah, check out the rest of the review. We're Droid Life. Peace.